I have a question for you. What is the name of Doc Brown's dog in Back to the Future? Hi, I'm Mark Ellison from 5 Daily Trivia Questions. 5 questions, 5 answers, and maybe you'll learn something amazing along the way. The number 5. 5 Daily Trivia Questions. Oh, and the answer? Doc Brown's dog's name is Einstein. 5 Daily Trivia Questions.
Are you a financial advisor considering the Independent Registered Investment Advisor, or RIA model, and wondering where to start? Start with Schwab Advisor Services. Schwab has helped thousands evaluate the full range of options and can help you determine your best path forward. Navigate the big and small decisions by tapping into Schwab's decades worth of insights on what fuels RIA success. With Schwab Advisor Services, you have a custodian that will support you every step of the way. Start your journey today at advisorservices.schwab.com/paths.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From New Orleans, where this expense account is getting maxed, this is Ballot.
Yep, but unfortunately for me, Trump is doing an interview on Fox later today, so I gotta work. Anyway, let's hit this. In what seemed like a perfectly normal diplomatic press conference at the White House with Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, things took an unexpected turn. The topic? Not international trade, not global security, but rather Elon Musk's very public declaration of affection for the President of the United States. During the press briefing, Fox News reporter Peter Doocy decided to spice things up by reading Musk's social media post aloud. "I love Donald Trump as much as a straight man can love another man." Now, keep in mind, this is Elon Musk we're talking about. The billionaire who not only owns Twitter, but also heads up Trump's newly created Department of Government Efficiency. When asked how the First Lady might feel about this rather enthusiastic endorsement, Trump, with his characteristic flair, simply replied, "Oh, I think she'll be okay with it somehow." The room erupted in laughter because what else do you do when the world's richest man professes his love for the president during what was supposed to be a serious diplomatic meeting? Chelsea Handler hosted the Critics' Choice Awards, which is perfect timing since people chose Trump and he gets criticized. She introduced herself as the DEI host, which I assume means desperately expecting improvement in the ratings. Handler decided to compare Melania Trump to a character in this movie, Honora, about a young prostitute who marries into Russian money. And speaking of movies nobody asked for, Justin Baldoni directed something called It Ends With Us. Though based on Blake Lively's accusations, maybe it should have been called It Ends With Lawsuits. Now Baldoni's claiming Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds are part of some grand conspiracy. Right, because when I think criminal masterminds, I definitely picture the girl who writes breakup songs and the guy who played Green Lantern. But the real highlight was Handler taking a shot at Cheryl Hines, comparing her at RFK Jr.'s Senate confirmation to someone questioning their life choices. Which is rich coming from someone whose biggest claim to fame is dating Ted Harbert. You remember Ted Harbert? Neither does anyone else. Trump says he won't deport Prince Harry, which honestly might be the nicest thing he's ever said about an immigrant. And when Trump's being nice to you, that's when you know things are really bad. Trump told the New York Post he'll leave Harry alone because, and I can't believe I'm quoting Trump being the voice of reason here, he's got enough problems with his wife. This is like when your worst enemy starts defending you and you think, oh no, am I the bad guy? The Heritage Foundation wants Harry's immigration records because he admitted to doing drugs in his book, Spare. Now, usually writing a tell-all book about your family gets you cut out of the will, not the country. But these conservative lawyers are like, finally, we found an immigrant we can relate to. He's rich, white, and complains about his family. You know things are weird when Donald Trump is being more lenient on immigration than a think tank. A think tank. Though calling Heritage Foundation a think tank is like calling a hot dog a sandwich, technically true, but missing the whole point. Trump wants to add a $100 million ballroom to the White House, because nothing says fiscal responsibility like turning the executive mansion into Studio 54. According to Trump, he's been trying to pitch this idea since Obama was in office. He's like that friend who keeps suggesting everyone should go skydiving and nobody ever responds to the group text. He says he offered this to Biden too, But shockingly, installing a Mar-a-Lago-style dance floor wasn't high on the administration's to-do list. Now, Trump says he'll pay for it himself, $100 million for what would be the biggest White House renovation since Truman basically gutted the place back in 1948. That renovation was because the building was literally falling apart, not because it needed more disco balls. His reasoning? Well, apparently he's tired of seeing tents go up when Chinese diplomats visit. I mean, who hasn't looked at a formal diplomatic meeting and thought, you know what this needs? More glitter. And just to put this in perspective, he's announcing this grand ballroom plan right as his efficiency team is cutting federal budgets left and right. It's sort of like telling your roommates you're installing a hot tub right after explaining why everyone needs to start buying generic toilet paper. Trump claims he's good at building party rooms, pointing to his ballroom at Mar-a-Lago as proof. Which I guess makes sense if your idea of presidential decor is Las Vegas Casino meets Versailles. Trump announced he's about to hit countries with reciprocal tariffs faster than you can say you're fired. So Trump's sitting there with the Japanese prime minister, right? And he's like, you know what would make this meeting really fun? If I announced I'm about to start a global trade war. Now, Trump's saying this will help with budget problems. That's like saying you're going to fix your credit card debt by charging everyone in your apartment building to use the elevator. Sure, you might make some money, but your neighbors are definitely going to start taking the stairs and possibly plotting your downfall in the laundry room. The numbers here are fascinating. The US has a 2.2% average tariff rate, while India's sitting at 12%. That's like comparing my gym attendance to The Rock's. There's a slight difference in commitment levels. And get this. While Europe charges 10% on American cars, we charge 25% on pickup trucks. That's right, if you want to sell a pickup truck in America, you better be ready to pay more than a streaming service subscriber who's sharing their password with their entire extended family. Breaking news from the FDA. They're recalling 2 million baked goods, and I have to say, this might be the first time in history a donut shop is telling you not to come in. Let me paint you a picture here. A company called FGF Brands, which sounds less like a bakery and more like a failed boy band from 2007, has been pumping out potentially contaminated pastries faster than I pump out dating app rejections. So picture this. You walk into Dunkin', right? And you're looking at those beautiful glossy donuts behind the glass. But now, the FDA is basically saying, street smarts, don't eat that. Because apparently, these donuts might have a little something extra that wasn't advertised on the menu. And it's not sprinkles, it's listeria. The recall includes everything made before December 13th, which really puts a damper on that baker's dozen concept. Now it's more like a baker's doesn't. They're pulling 60 different types of baked goods. We're talking donuts, fritters, those fancy French crullers that make you feel sophisticated while you're eating them in your car. You know what's really wild? The company's name is FGF Brands. The F clearly stands for Find Another Breakfast. The G stands for Get Ready to Throw Out Those Donuts. And that last F? That's just what you say when you realize your breakfast is on a recall list. Portions of today's program were made with the help of AI, DD, and FGF.
It is the world's most secretive election. When a pope dies, ancient traditions begin. A silver hammer, a destroyed ring, over 100 cardinals locked away from the world, choosing the next leader of 1 billion faithful. White Smoke. The Path to a New Pope, from Calaroga Shark Media, wherever you get your podcasts.